Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to the Commentary is Silent channel where the commentary is not so silent. And in today's video, I don't know if I've talked about this on this channel. I think I have on my podcast, but not my channel. But is video games bad for kids? Now I wanted to talk on that because I did see, I think it was an article where they were trying to say like this guy that was behind this Texas school shooting, that he was into cyber gaming. Now, before people start blaming Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, whether some other, big games out there, I'm saying, but those are like the two biggest, shooter games out there and stuff. Those are the ones where it's like everybody's playing them, everybody knows about them, and they're gonna see some things in that game. So, starting off with Grand Theft Auto. Now, yes, in Grand Theft Auto, they will have you playing as the bad guy, where you're going out and you're doing illegal things. Now, when I was growing up, and I got, the playing Grand Theft Auto and all that stuff, my parents allowed me to play that game. They made sure of it. They told me the stuff that you do in this video game cannot do it in real life. I remembered that. I lived with it. I followed it. Here I am, 25 years old, with no criminal history of any of the things that you're able to do in Grand Theft Auto. I wasn't hopping military-based fences, stealing jets, or driving cars at high speeds down freeways and roads, flipping them over, letting them blow up, going a shooting rampage, and then, a bunch of other things. Like I'm saying, no, Grand Theft Auto, do not get me wrong, it's probably one of the most maturest games out there to ever be released. But if you have parents telling you not to play or not to do what they're doing in the game in real life, fam, what can possibly go wrong? So that's why I'm like, with Grand Theft Auto, you can't blame those guys. You can blame them for maybe releasing some bad games in the recent years, but you can't blame them for literally doing what these guys grew up wanting to develop video games. They eventually went to school to learn how to develop video games. They did all of this studying. They eventually found a job at Rockstar Games to be a developer or whatever they're doing, be behind this game. But they went through all of this hard work and trouble to get to this point just to have it where people are wanting to take it away from them. Because I'm saying, people have been getting on Grand Theft Auto ever since I was a kid. I remember I think I was it was around the time when Grand Theft Auto San Andreas was coming out, I believe. And I remember they were trying to say how that game was bad. Grand Theft Auto 3. I actually remember reading or watching a segment on a news station where they were talking about how Grand Theft Auto 3 was bad for kids. And the thing is if you have parents telling those kids you can't, what you're doing in Grand Theft Auto 3, you can't do that stuff in real life. And it's they're teaching you that. They're telling you that stuff. You can't do that. And then the thing is with those developers, they're telling a story. It's an interactive story. It's a story where you get to play as the main character. That is the whole objective of releasing a video game. I don't know why it takes me to say some stuff like that or to get it put through people's head, but it's an interactive, think of it this is what it's an interactive movie. That's exactly what that's exactly what every video game is. Okay? That it's a video game. You are playing a game, but you're watching a video. You happen to be a part of this video, but it is a game. Okay? There is some games where there's the high score, a high ranking, whatever it is, but it is an interactive, pretty much what a video game is an interactive movie. So it ain't no different. Grand Theft Auto, it ain't no different than no bank robbery movie, no crime movie, no gang member movie, none of that stuff. It ain't no different. But it's the thing is I just don't understand. It's where a kid will be allowed to watch those type of movies but not be allowed to play the video. But I'm or even if it's a situation where you're not allowed to watch those movies or play those games, it's fam, to keep a kid hidden from that part of the world, they're never going to truly know what the real world is like. If you're taking away these elements and hiding things from there, they're never going to know what the real world is like. And if like, and my thing is like, and that's why it's like when you have a kid playing like rated M video games and all that, watching rated R movies, have them watch the news. So if in the movie, if they show where the villain, he gets away with it, he's running down the street laughing, he's like, oh yeah, I'm a villain, I just went on this shooting rampage, you guys can't do nothing, I'm unstoppable, credits roll up, just have them watch the news. Because I guarantee and I promise you, there's going to be a person on the news where they do the same thing that's being did in the movie, and most likely they're going to be on the run, hiding from the cops, and eventually they're either going to get arrested or shot and killed by cops. That is the reality. You gotta tell, like, I just wanted, like, parents to know that it's like, you gotta talk to your kids about that stuff, because my parents, they were constantly doing that to me when I played any rated M or crazy video game. When they seen me playing it, they always was telling me, like, you can't say this, you can't do that, you can't do this, you know, you just keep it in the game. And I'm like, alright, cool, I will 100%, I will follow, and here it is today. I ain't got, you know, no criminal history of me doing whatever is being done in Grand Theft Auto. I ain't got no history of that stuff. None whatsoever, alright? So now let's say if he was big into Call of Duty. Okay, now with Call of Duty, it's a different story. Far different from Grand Theft Auto, okay? Because in Call of Duty, you're playing as the good guy. I think the one and only time they had it, and I don't even think he was a bad guy. I think he was, I think he was like a spy or something. But he was like, and it was in Modern Warfare 2, and it was the No Russian mission where they shot up the airport and stuff. That was the one and only time they had some crazy stuff in that game. But the main thing of that game is that you are playing as the war hero and you're trying to kill the villain. So how is that bad? How is that, like, because the gun violence? What are they supposed to do? Arm wrestle each other? It's like, fam, you gotta add some sort of element of entertainment in those video games, because if there's none of that, it's not gonna be a good game. Yes, there are games out there where you're not doing all that wild and shoot 'em up type things, and you know, you're just like, there's racing games, there's the Sims. Well, no, the Sims is a bad idea, because now the Sims, you can do some wild stuff in the Sims. But what are some other games out there? Elden Ring. I know that I haven't really played that game, but it's like the whole objective is you're going around, you're killing these monsters and all that stuff. I'm saying, like, there's overall the moral of, you know, the story of what I'm, you know, saying is that any game out there is gonna be crazy, or kids is gonna want to do crazy things in that game. It can even be a rated like E game and stuff, where it's, you know, rated E for everyone. But it's like, let's say it's a racing game, right? Professional racing game. There's gonna be that one kid that plays that game, right? And they just start swerving and crashing into cars. They're not even driving. The car done blew up. They gotta start the race all over again. Eventually, the kid will learn, hey, I gotta follow through with the main objective in this game. I gotta do the missions. I gotta do the races. I gotta do, you know, kill a monster, whatever it is. But if you have somebody there telling you that, hey, what you're doing in this game, can't do it in real life, alright? I know with Elden Ring, like, yeah, if you see a monster, you ain't gonna be able to lift no 20-foot long sword and start, unless you got like some crackhead powers or whatever. But I'm saying, like, at the end of the day, I personally don't think video games are bad for kids. I think there should probably be some kids out there that shouldn't play video games. If they got like issues and stuff, yeah, those are the ones that shouldn't be playing video games. But your average kid, a kid that don't get in trouble, a kid that don't do, you know, they ain't got nothing weird going on in their life or whatever, they ain't got no mental issues. But even then, it's like, you still never know, because it's like a lot of times kids just be keeping that stuff bottled up. But it's like, talk with your kids. I think if there's like a communication, you know, thing going on between you and the kid, I think situations like that Texas shooting could have been avoided if there's some sort of communication and talking to. But if there's none of that, if there's none, like, I mean, you guys start that off young. You got to, like, be there for them so they don't grow up to do no crazy and wild stuff like that. But, and I'm not trying to say that his parents are bad parents, but I'm just saying, it's like, you guys, like, just talking to the other parents and stuff, It's like, you guys got to be there for your kids, you know. I mean, when they're young, not when they're teenagers, when they're young, all right? I mean, like, mad young. Kid, elementary, like, you know, young, preschool, you know, even a baby if you can. But I'm saying, it's like, you can't, you know, blame other people for that kid's, you know, his issues and stuff. That guy had issues. So it's like, you can't blame Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, or any other video game out there for his issues. It's like, those people at the end of the day, they're just trying to make money and go home and feed their family. It's like, you can't blame them for that. So, but anyways, yeah, talk to y'all later. Thank you guys. Yeah, may those kids and teachers rest in peace. You know, may their families, you know, may they have the most amount of blessings. Shoot, if I could give them my blessings, I would. But you know, it's like, it's just, it sucks. That whole situation sucks. And it's like, it's just messed up to see people go through that. So what they really need to do is crack down on this gun law stuff and, you know, have better police officers, you know, they're equipped to go through with missions like that. Because I'm saying, if you got police officers waiting outside for an hour, it's like, nah, fam, there's many things wrong with it than a kid playing video games. I mean, there's probably kids in that classroom that was playing the same games, if not know about the same games that guy was playing. So that's why I'm not even hearing that video game debate anymore. It's like, people always want to blame video games, and it's like, can't blame the games. Eventually, you guys start blaming the person that's behind it. It's like, if it's from them listening to music or from them watching movies, and it's like, I'm saying, like, that stuff, that entertainment stuff already exists. It's like I said, communication is going to help a lot of people. So, anyways, talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching, and peace.